Hi, my loves. My name is Isha, and welcome to this channel. I'm a feminine embodiment coach and a former engineer. And today I want to talk about something that I genuinely feel that is misunderstood in the wellness space, and that is feminine healing. You have probably seen it everywhere on Instagram, in courses, in retreats, and a lot of it looks beautiful. Flowers, crystals, moon rituals, flowing dresses. And I'm not here to criticize any of that because I love all of that. And beauty has its place in this work. But I want to talk about what feminine healing is beneath the aesthetic because I have spent years searching for it and still feeling like there was something missing even after doing all the things that I was supposed to do. And it wasn't until I understood what I'm about to share with you that things started to shift for me. So if you have been on this healing journey for a while and you still feel like something isn't quite landing yet, or if you're just beginning to sense that something in you is wanting to be heard and you don't quite know what it is yet, this video is for you. So let me first start by saying what feminine healing is not, because that's where a lot of us get stuck. So feminine healing, first of all, is not about becoming more feminine in the way this word is often used. It's not about being more softer or more gentler or wearing more flowery dresses or speaking more quietly. It is not about fitting into a particular image of womanhood. And it's also not about just self-care. And I want to be a little careful here because self-care is genuinely important. Nourishing your body, resting, moving, all of this is extremely important. But self-care is just the surface. It just scratches the surface of something that is much deeper. And feminine healing is also not just the mindset work. You can do all the affirmations, all the journaling prompts about abundance and worthiness, and still find yourself stuck in the same patterns, the same relationships, the same exhaustion. Because the issue isn't in the mind. It is held somewhere much deeper, much older than that. So what is it then? Feminine healing is returning. It is slow and sometimes uncomfortable, extremely uncomfortable, but always a meaningful process of returning to yourself, to your body, to your emotions, to the parts of you that got quietly set aside along the way, usually very early in your life, and in ways that you probably didn't even notice back then. So let me give you a felt sense of what I mean. Think about the last time you truly felt connected to your body. You truly felt at home with it, not performing, not managing, not pushing through life, just present, grounded, and alive in yourself. So for some of you, the memory might come quickly. And for some of you, you might realize that you're not even sure if you've ever felt that way, at least not since you were very young. The distance between you and that feeling is what we are healing. And there's something that makes it complicated. Most of us have been disconnected for so long that disconnection feels normal. We think that exhaustion is just life. We think the numbness is just who we are. We think that the constant doing, achieving, and managing is just what it is meant to be a woman in today's world. But it's what happens when a woman has slowly moved away from her life force energy, from her own feminine essence, from the parts of her that knows how to feel, how to receive, how to rest, and to trust her own inner knowing. And the reason it happens is layered. It's not one thing. It's many, many things building quietly over time. And there are a few key ways through which this kind of disconnection forms. And I want to walk you through them because recognizing yourself in one of these is often the moment something begins to shift. So the first one is the body. So many of us learned very early on that our bodies were something to manage rather than something to listen to. We were taught to perform in them, to present them in certain ways, to push through their signals rather than honor them. Some of us experienced puberty without the guidance we needed, and then we started pulling away from our own changing bodies. And some of us absorbed the messages from the women around us, the older women around us, that the feminine body was something to be hidden, something to be ashamed of, or something to be managed or fixed. And over time, we stopped listening to what our bodies were trying to tell us. And I want to remind you that the body is the first home of the feminine. And when we lose this connection with the body, then we lose the connection with everything that the feminine has to offer us. Our intuition, our creativity, our natural body rhythm, and our capacity to feel fully. The second one is our wounds. Every woman carries wounds. that shape how she relates to herself and others, the way the love was given or withheld in her life, the imprint of her mother, her first experience of the feminine, the imprint of her father, the first experience of the masculine in her life, the way she learned to suppress herself in order to receive love, care, and support. These wounds don't disappear when we grow up. They live in the body. They show up in our relationships, in our patterns, in the voice that live within us, that criticizes us before anyone else can. And until these wounds are gently brought into awareness and met with compassion, they silently run the show. The third is what I call the life force disconnect. When a woman is disconnected from her life force energy, her Shakti, life becomes mechanical for her. She's always in her head, always pushing, always managing. She moves through her days just managing things, but never being with herself. And she often doesn't recognize this as disconnection because in our world, this way of living, pushing, managing, is what is praised and rewarded. I know this personally. I spent 14 years in engineering doing this, operating almost entirely from my masculine energy, following the structure, always connected to this driving force within me, always driven, trying to achieve things, trying to place myself into a structure all the time. And honestly, I was good at it. But something always felt disconnected, like something was always depleting within me. And my body knew, my cycles knew. The exhaustion that I used to felt all the time, that knew what it was. And coming home to my feminine changed everything for me. Not because I stopped being capable and driven, but because I finally had a deeper connection and access to the intelligence of my body. And that my mind alone could not offer me. So what does genuine feminine healing require? So in my experience and in the work I do with the women, there are 4 important things. First, as I said, returning to the body, not to fix it or to improve it, but simply returning to it, learning to listen to its signals, to honor its rhythms, and to meet it with curiosity rather than judgment. The body is not a problem to be solved. It is the home of your feminine wisdom, and the first place the healing has to happen. The second one is, as you're returning to the body, you start understanding your cyclical nature. Women are not designed to function in the same way every day. We move in cycles, like the seasons, like the moon. And when we understand our own rhythmic nature rather than fighting it, something profound shifts in your life. We stop expecting ourselves to be consistent all the time and start learning to work with the natural intelligence of the body. So once you've created this beautiful connection with your body and you're now operating through the rhythms of it, you then go to the third aspect of this healing, which is meeting the wounds with gentleness. And this is the part that most women want to skip, and understandably. But the wounds that you're carrying, they don't get healed by ignoring them. They heal when they are finally seen, named, and met with compassion rather than judgment. And this is not to be done in a dramatic or destabilizing way, but gently, with enough inner safety to look at what has been shaping you from within. And then the fourth and final layer is moving into devotion. This is what I believe is the true destination of the feminine healing, and the part that most resources never reach. Because healing is not the end point. Devotion is a lifelong, daily, living relationship with yourself, with your own feminine essence, a reverence for your body, your intuition, your inner knowing, a way of living that comes from inside out rather than outside. Everything that I've shared with you is what I spent years living, learning, and finally writing it down. I recently completed something that I'd been carrying for years in fragments, in form of notes, journal entries, late night voice memos to myself. And it finally came together into what I'm calling the Feminine Healing Companion. It's a deeply personal guide of healing for women returning to themselves. It moves through all 4 of the things that I just described: the body, the cyclical nature, the wounds, the devotion, and so much more. And it does it in a way that I hope feels less like a textbook and more like a woman walking beside you, because that's exactly what I wanted it to feel like while I was writing it. It's not a quick fix. It's not a surface level wellness guide. It goes into the places that I believe genuine feminine healing actually requires you to go. And it does it gently with journaling prompts and embodiment practices and honest teachings drawn from my own lived experiences. If what I've shared today resonates with you, if you recognize yourself in any of it, the link to the companion is in the description box. It's available as a digital PDF, so you can begin immediately in your own time and at your own pace. And if you're not ready for that yet, that's completely fine. Keep watching, keep learning, keep listening to what's calling within you. That's enough for now. If this video was useful to you, I would love for you to share it with a woman who you think might need to hear it. And if you have any questions about anything that I shared, please leave them in the comments. I read everything. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.